Today we are talking about nutrition with registered dietitian Barbara Lincoln. This is an overview, some reminders, tips, and tricks, small things you can do that will make a big impact over time. Nothing drastic. I want to introduce you to my friend Barbara. Growing up, Barbara ran track and cross country. Later, she began running half and full marathons while living in New York City. Being a competitive runner, she realized the importance of nutrition. Barbara then went back to school and completed her degree in clinical nutrition at NYU. She is now a registered dietitian. Barbara worked with internists before branching out on her own. She has lectured on nutrition for various large companies, including Disney, Google, and Yahoo. She has spoken about nutrition for type 1 diabetics at the JDRF World Summit. She is a member of the American Dietetic Association and multiple practice groups and has edited several journals and newsletter articles. Today, Barbara works with a wide range of clients from pre- and postnatal women to professional athletes and individuals with autoimmune and chronic conditions. She does not believe in diets, but a healthy, balanced approach to nutrition, which includes coffee and chocolate every day. She lives in Chicagoland with her husband, 2 daughters, and the very handsome sheepdoodle, Macintosh. I am proud to call her my friend. We are so lucky to have her today on Well Informed to share her wisdom. Welcome, Barbara. I am so excited for this conversation.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, so glad. So funny enough, today is Halloween.
Yes.
And we are here to talk about nutrition. I think where we should start is sugar. I mean, we are kidding ourselves if we're thinking we don't all have a bowl of sugary treats at our doorstep. So
100%.
what are your thoughts? It's not realistic to eliminate all sugars, but what should we be doing?
Yes. So you're 100% right. And I do have 2 bowls of candy at my doorstep. But one of the things that I think about when it comes to food is balance. And one of the biggest
Yes.
goals when it comes to nutrition is balancing your blood sugar. So it's an example that I use a lot of times for clients.
How could I do that?
Right. So for example, if you eat 5 chicken breasts,
Yes.
maybe, I mean, it's very hard to eat 5 chicken breasts because they're just all protein. But
Correct.
if you have 5 of those fun size Snickers bars in front of you, it's very easy to eat those.
Of
And
course.
that's because the sugar spikes, the candy spikes your blood sugar. So
Yes.
I would say if you're going to have the fun size Snickers bars, to have a full meal or a full snack, something that has some protein, a healthy carbohydrate, and a little bit of healthy fat so that it helps keep your blood sugar more stable. Because that old example of opening up a bag of chips, you can't just have one. You
Can't
just
stop eating
kind
them.
of can't stop eating them. And that's the classic example. It just is this huge amount of sugar going right to your bloodstream, and it just makes you hungrier and hungrier. But if you have a full meal first, it's very difficult to then go and have a bag of chips.
And it has no value. Is there ever a time that sugar has any value?
It doesn't, but a lot of rituals and things revolve around sugar, right? So if you think about birthdays, it's nice to celebrate birthdays with a cake.
Of course.
And same kind of thing. If you make it a special occasion thing, it has less of an impact on your diet than if you do it every day. So it's if you have really good, healthy choices most of the time, and you make the exception on Halloween for a birthday, for an anniversary, you're better off.
I like that. And then it's not part of my ritual to eat sugar. It should be only reserved for special occasions. It takes the sweetness out of the treats when you have them every day.
100%, right? If you eat ice cream every day, you
which I
kind
could.
of, it's not really special. Most people could, but it's not really special anymore. But if you
I
save ice cream for that occasion when, your kids want to go for ice cream and you'd like to have a scoop of ice cream with them, that doesn't otherwise wreck a really good diet.
I like that. I like that I don't have to be so chained to the diet that I'm trying to follow, and I'm allowed to veer off the road
Yes,
and give myself permission.
exactly.
I have a question.
Yeah.
What kind of chocolate do you eat every day and how much?
Okay, really good question. I would say I really like dark chocolate. There's a lot of positive research that it's high in antioxidants.
Yes.
My kids, of course, prefer milk chocolate, but
Right.
there's very little of those antioxidants in there. But I say dark chocolate and as high a percentage that you can tolerate. So, for
Okay.
example, 85% for some people is just so bitter. It's not even worth it, but 70% actually tastes pretty good.
Yes.
And again, if you're pairing it after a meal or after a snack, then you're less likely to overeat it. You can have two or three
Yes.
squares and then you're having your chocolate, but you're not eating the whole bar.
Because it's so easy to overeat chocolate.
Exactly. But it's easy to overeat the bar when you come to it hungry or craving it. And a lot of
Yes.
times you're craving things because your blood sugar has dipped because of that
Yes.
meal before or that snack before. It wasn't well balanced or it was very high in sugar and it caused you to spike your blood sugar and then crash it. And then you want the whole chocolate bar.
You know, through this conversation so far, you've said a lot about snacking. Do
Yes.
you think it's a good idea for us to snack, or should we just go to the 3 meals a day that we were supposed to have? What do
Yes,
you
and
think?
this is such a big question that comes up all the time because again, there's not, one size fits all approach, when it comes to nutrition. I have clients that are professional athletes and
Yes.
they need to snack because they need to get all the calories in for their workouts and to maintain their weight. But if
Yes.
I have a client that's coming to me for weight loss, we're looking to cut extra calories so
Yes.
they might not need to snack. If you find yourself snacking at the same time every day, I would say keep a food log and just see what's happening. Why are you hungry at 4 o'clock every day? What was your lunch like before? Did you not have a lunch? Did you just kind of pick throughout the day?
Yes.
So it's very individual and it's based on what your goals are, right? If your goal is to maintain your weight, if your goal is to lose weight, if you're trying to fuel some kind of sport, because we have a very big snacking culture in this
Very
country,
big.
right? And if you think about what's in a lot of the snacks, they're just a lot of processed carbohydrates, again, spiking your blood sugar and causing you to snack more.
Yes.
So,
Never a need for a processed carbohydrate,
exactly, exactly.
but they're hard to avoid, but you can.
Yes. And I think it comes down to, being really conscious. I said this a bit earlier about making good choices, right? Deciding that you're not going to have the cake all the time, that the cake is something reserved for birthdays or anniversaries.
Yes.
Um, and the same with the snacks. There's a place for having Pringles once in a while.
Of
But
course.
when these things start to creep into your diet every day, that's when you have to worry about whether or not your diet is healthy or serving you.
Yes, I totally agree. Now, with a snack in the afternoon, it would be dreamy to have a nap. So,
Right, totally.
could we talk a little bit about sleep, about how much we should aim for in a day?
Yes. So I'm not a sleep expert,
Mhm.
but I am a nutrition expert that really focuses on sleep. I
Yes.
think at a minimum, we should be getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Obviously, if you're younger, you need more.
Yes.
We are chronically sleep deprived. And even clients of mine that say that they get 8 hours of sleep, I, and don't feel well rested in the morning, I'll ask, what happened? What was the quality of your sleep like? And sometimes I'll have them use something like an aura ring to track the quality of
Yes.
sleep
Oh,
and
I
deep
wear one.
sleep.
wear
They're
one too.
great.
Yes,
So again, there's a lot of research that says that that's one of the best wearables when it comes to tracking sleep.
do you track your sleep?
I do. Here's my Oura ring.
Oh, very good.
Yes. And I noticed with clients of mine that struggle to lose weight, sleep is really a big part of it because lack of sleep can affect your hunger hormones. So you can feel hungry when you're actually tired. It um, offsets the balance of those hormones. So sleep is it's very important.
So you're not actually needing the nutrition. You're just not understanding how to listen to your body.
Exactly. That's a big thing too when it comes to hydration. I think a
Yes.
lot of us are chronically dehydrated and we
Yes.
sometimes think we're hungry when we're actually thirsty.
I've heard
So,
that.
yes. And so those are two really big factors when you look at diet, especially for my weight loss clients. The
Yes.
sleep is huge and the hydration is huge.
Well, let's talk about hydration. How much water or drink, not alcoholic, clean drinks, should
Yes.
we have in a day?
Yes. So I'm going to give away a trade secret here.
I'm
But
listening.
this is some free advice. I tell all of my clients this, that you should basically drink half of your body weight in water per day as a minimum. So if
Wow.
you think about your body weight, right? So if someone weighs 140 pounds, they should get 70 ounces of water per day.
Okay.
And
That's
that's
a lot of
just
water.
almost 9 glasses of water a day.
Oh, that
And
sounds more reasonable.
yes,
So
no,
70
100%.
ounces is an
70
overwhelming
ounces,
number,
yes. So half of your
but
body
nine
weight in,
glasses,
yes, in
the difference
ounces per
between,
day.
yes, nine
Yes,
glasses is doable.
it's doable. Now, the only caveat is you need more water if you're exercising. So I then recommend 8 to 16 ounces for every hour of exercise.
Yes.
Um, Another 8 ounces for every alcoholic drink.
Oh, yes. I've heard that
Yes.
too.
And so if your, eyes are kind of rolling in the back of your head or your head is spinning by all these numbers, it's hydration is so important and it relates back to you feeling hungry and it might not be actual hunger. It might be thirst.
I have this.
Yes.
My giant 30
Cheers.
ounce, 30 ounces of water. What
Yes.
about putting anything in it? At
Yes.
any
So
time, is it good or bad, or should it just be water and ice or
100%.
electrolytes? What do you think?
Yeah, so I think electrolytes are really important. We've, as a culture, became very focused on low sodium. I know a lot of people
Yes.
that don't salt their food. So if you
Yes.
think about it, if you're just drinking a lot of water, it's kind of running through your system. It doesn't have anything for your body to hold on to. So I like a lot of the electrolyte powders that are out there. You should
Is
look
it
for one that has
sodium? What
sodium
is it?
and potassium,
Because we have,
because
and
they
I
work
think you
together.
tried the Superior. Did
Yes,
we send one
which
of these
tastes
over?
fantastic.
It tastes so good and it's sugar free. There's zero sugar. But what
Exactly.
is
So,
it? It's sodium, it's potassium. What else is it that we want? Either our
so
bodies.
that one has vitamin C in it too, which I like because that helps with recovery.
Oh,
But
I
you're
didn't know that.
basically looking for sodium and potassium. So something like Gatorade, which it's so crazy, but they use this for all the sports teams,
Yes,
and
and it's
Gatorade has
blue.
sodium in it, right? No potassium. It's
Sodium, no
high
potassium.
in sugar, so it can actually upset your stomach and not hydrate you, can cause
And
you
food coloring.
and food coloring
I
to
mean,
need
the
even more
colors are,
water.
they're bright. They're
Yes,
bright.
very bright.
I don't think they
Exactly.
occur in
They're not found
nature.
in nature.
No,
Exactly.
no, I don't think
Yes.
so.
Right.
Um, oh, good. Oh, this is such good information about the water. I had a doctor a long time ago that looked at me and my levels, and she said, I don't care what you drink, just drink every 30 minutes. It can be a Diet Coke, it can be a cup of coffee, a lemonade, it can be anything. Is that good advice?
Well, if you so we could save this for a whole other different day. But the thing about Diet Coke is it's not actually hydrating it. It has caffeine in it,
Mhm.
and it has artificial sweeteners in it.
Yes.
So that's not going to hydrate you, but a cup of decaffeinated tea would be great. Even there
Tea.
was a big research study that came out recently that plain sparkling water can hydrate
Sparkling
you.
water? Oh,
Hmm.
not like the flavored lemon and lime and things like that?
Um, if it's flavored but without, added sugars and stuff, it's fine. So
Good,
like a calorie-free sparkling water can hydrate you too.
good, good. Because that is so important. I mean, especially for someone like you, like long distance runner, and you do everything.
Yes. And, I tell a lot of my clients too, again, the ones struggling with weight loss, try focusing on the water, see what happens. If you feel like you're craving something or reaching for something, what happens if you drink 8 to 16 ounces of water? All of a sudden, maybe you're not so hungry for that piece of chocolate or the chips or whatever it is.
And you do have at least the fullness feeling after a
Yes.
full, if you drink it down very quickly, 8 ounces,
Hmm.
it does make you feel full pretty quickly.
Yes, right. And as many of my clients complain when I first recommend increasing the water, they're running to the bathroom, and I just tell them to count it as exercise.
Yes, it
You're
is.
getting more
Up,
exercise.
down. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes, it is. Now I don't want to go out and eat 5 chicken breasts tonight, but
Yes.
I do want to know how much protein I should be eating.
Yes. So the government recommends, and I'm going to throw out some numbers there, but then I'll explain a little bit more realistic, about how it looks like. They recommend zero point 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight to 1.0 grams per kilogram.
Okay.
And so basically what that looks like is if you divide your weight by 2.2, so like
Right.
roughly half of your body weight in grams per protein a day. If I just had to throw it, it gets a little bit more specific when I focus on goals. I remember, I discussed at the beginning professional athletes. So if
Yes.
someone's trying to build muscle, I'm going to recommend on the higher end. If someone's more sedentary, I'll recommend on the lower end.
Yes.
But same kind of thing with the water. You need at a minimum half of your body weight in protein. And as we age, we actually absorb less protein. So the
Okay.
digestive acids in our stomach break down a little bit more. So we sort of have less of them. So less to break down the protein. So we actually need to eat more of it,
Eat
if
more
that makes
because we
sense.
can't absorb as much.
We can absorb it.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm understanding now. Oh,
Yes.
wow. There's so much to think about and so much to digest and
There
so
is,
much
and there's so much,
information.
and there's a lot of misinformation out there too, which
So
is
much
why.
misinformation.
Yes. And, you go on some of these sites and people they feel very firmly about their approach, and it's not necessarily grounded in science.
Right.
Um, as a registered dietitian, everything that we do is science backed, and nutrition is still an evolving science. The recommendations change
Yes.
based on more research. I've been in practice a long time, and we used to recommend a low fat diet,
Right.
and now they're saying that certain fats can be, heart protective. And so I think, you have to get to the source.
Yes.
You have to find someone that you feel is well researched and has good experience, and they can steer you in the right direction.
I mean, I specifically remember eating, like going through growing up, the no fat 90s is where I came from. And it
A
could have as
hundred
much
percent.
sugar, enough, as much
Yes.
salt. It didn't matter. Just
Right.
as
And
long
we're
as there
kind of
was
suffering
no
for it
fat.
now.
Yeah.
We like our rates of type 2 diabetes are skyrocketing. And all of that is, it's years after we've kind of learned this approach to eat. And now I feel like I have a lot of like unlearning or retraining that I do with a
Yes.
lot of my clients.
Because, we all believed in what we believed in. And
Hmm.
I don't see those diets around anymore. Um,
No.
the different ones that I no reason to highlight one or the other, but I
Yes.
don't see us going after any of those diets anymore. I like your approach where it's balance and little things like a little more sleep, a little more water, things that you can do every day that will make a difference in the long run.
And these things build on themselves, right? If you start to get better sleep, you start to drink more water, you feel better. And then you tend
Yeah.
to want to make better choices. So then maybe you have more energy and you push yourself a little bit harder in your workouts. So
Yes.
I feel like you can make small changes and then they create bigger changes.
Yes. Yes. You get that ball rolling and it's just,
Mhm.
it keeps going and going, all for the positive. And I feel
Yes.
it's so important, we get older every day. And so we have to, we can unlearn. I think we're able.
Yes.
I think there's hope for us all. I
Yes.
do. I do. Um, Thank you so much. I have appreciated this conversation so much. I do have a couple quick things I want to talk to you about.
Yes, of course.
We call it the Fast Five, and they're just quick questions. Don't overthink it. Just answer, just for fun. I want to know the answers to a couple quick Fast Five questions. What was the last book you read?
The last book I read, I can't remember the name of the author, but it was The Wedding People.
Mm-hmm.
It's fiction. It's on a lot of the bestseller list.
Great.
And it's such a great story. And it just shows how your life can change dramatically overnight. You think it's
Amazing.
going one way and it just changes very quickly.
Are you a Cubs or White Sox fan?
Neither. I grew up on Long
Oh,
Island,
okay.
and my husband is a Cubs fan,
Okay.
lifelong. But I grew up on Long Island, so I was a Mets fan. But my mom grew up in the Bronx, so she was a Yankees fan. So we were kind
Wow.
of both growing up.
And last night they didn't win the World Series. Wah, wah.
Yes.
Um, what do you think is your favorite Source and Self product?
Well, you touched on it earlier. I love the Raspberry Superior Electrolytes.
Oh,
They're
me too.
sugar free. They taste great. They also have vitamin C, which a lot of other brands don't have. It's important for recovery, for hydration. I love them. They're
Oh,
great.
what a great endorsement. What advice would you give your younger self?
It relates to health. I would say just worry about yourself, establish good habits, and don't care what anybody else thinks.
Yes.
If people are judgy, it's more about them than it is about you.
Oh, I like this. I could repeat this to my children daily,
Yes.
just to remind them, and I could probably repeat it to myself daily, just to remind
Yes.
myself.
Right.
Just like
Like
the
almost like
nutrition.
stay in your own lane, and
Yes,
it will be okay.
it will be okay. Last, are you a early bird or a night owl?
Oh, definitely an early bird, but I
Yes,
need my sleep.
yes.
I need 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night. So, like in an ideal world, I'm an early bird, but if I don't get
Yes,
that, then I definitely need to sleep in.
I want to sleep in. Yes.
Yes.
I hear you. I hear you. Barbara. Thank you. I thank you from Source and Self, and I thank you from me as a friend. And I'm so happy to know you. And I'm so glad I got to share this conversation with everyone
Thank you.
in that's listening from Source and Self in the Source and Self community.